results that he's looking for, hoping that his partner will put in the same quantity of work to get the same expectations of success out of the same relationship. Now, hold on, we got a lot of comments in here, so you guys make sure everybody can comment in here because I got everybody except for TikTok all on the same side. TikTok is a little bit iffy since they're supposed to be getting dropped by the U.S. government. 10 states have already banned them, and I'm not in one of those 10 states, but I'm not really trying to invest in a platform that may not be here in 2 months. So let's go on. We got a couple more comments, and then I'm gonna start telling y'all who has what to lose in divorce. He's telling me about this chick. She's got everything, so I'm gonna steal half of her stuff. Hashtag winning. That's it. She's rich. You don't got no money. You get married to her. I do believe it takes about 30 days or so. And then after that, once the idea of annulment has passed and y'all have already consummated the marriage, then the divorce is a thing. If you guys haven't consummated the marriage, you guys haven't been together long enough, you have an annulment. An annulment means that y'all just like stopped before you got started, which is almost like forfeiting before the match started. But once it's officially considered the match started, that's when y'all start getting hit with divorce. So in that idea, yes, if a man married a rich woman like Ken was to marry Barbie from our dollhouse days back in the day when our sisters had stuff, we had GI Joes, she had Barbie dream houses, we had Castle's Gray Skull, she's got the boat and the yacht, we've got the Enterprise, you know what I'm saying? Different stuff. Fact is, in that ideology, the woman had everything, the man had nothing but some shorts and a surfboard. And sometimes he didn't even come with the surfboard. Now, in those types of relationships, if a woman divorced a man, the man would get some of that stuff, if not half of that stuff. But more often than not, in reality, women do not go after men who are broke. So the fictitious, and it's weird because everything else can be blamed on like toys and video games and everything like that, but a woman's mindset can't be blamed on the dolls that she had when she was growing up. When she was growing up, the women were successful, the men were bums. The women had all the stuff, the men had nothing. All of her whole family came together, and the man was in the military. So it was her cousin, her niece, her daughter. Ken was just out there by himself, and she had it all, right? The dream. She had it all. Nobody talks about where she gets it from, but she had it all. But notice there were multiple different Kens. Enough divorces, you'll get it all. We had a couple podcasts that talked about how true story. He says, ethical question. Would you have with a Pokemon? Well, those people that are into bestiality might actually consider something like that. But I mean, if you've seen anything about Play World, these animals are reckless with these AK-47. So I don't see myself going that route. I would have my Pokemon like children or like a sweatshop, like Play World. Either way it goes, I'm benefiting from them, just not in that way. I'm just saying. It's not an animal, it's a monster. So, bro, the beast in that explanation is exactly that. So, I mean, I don't know what you're trying to get at there, but it is actually that. Now, real quick, diving into the ideologies. Now, some men have been pointing out on some of the male-driven podcasts that the majority of women in the world that are financially successful, that are billionaires, with the exception of one woman who got her money from unlawful activities, all the rest of them actually became millionaires or billionaires because they married a millionaire or billionaire and then divorced that person. And that's how they ended up with their millions. Some of them actually married their millionaire husband, where they may not have been millionaires when they got married, but they married him. The man became a millionaire. And then when the man died, like Kobe Bryant, his wife is now a millionaire. She might have not have been a millionaire when she met him, but she's a millionaire now that he's gone. When we look at historically, and I'm about to go into these details, that historically, back in the 1900s, the early 1900s, women didn't have assets. Women stayed with their parents until they married their husband. There are very few single women out there. There were single women out there, but there were very few single women out there before World War I and before the Civil War. So there were very few single women out there working in all the businesses, and they were doing the clerical stuff, all of the assistant stuff, home ec outside of the house kind of stuff. Now, After World War I, when women started taking over the workforce in the industrial industry, that's when women started leaving the house and making money and coming back to the house and burning bras and this, that, and the third. So when these laws first started being created back in the 30s and 40s and 20s and the 1800s, the late 1800s, women were one step away from being property, where one man would talk to another man and say, hey, I'll give you a dowry for this woman, arranged marriage, and that would work itself out. Now, it changed over the years, and then they outlawed arranged marriages, which actually nowadays arranged marriages would still be able to be a thing if it is voluntary, where you and the other person, is called a contractual marriage, still an arrangement. You two both agree to it, though. And in the past, the bride was forced into a wedding that she had no choice in, and that's the difference between an arranged marriage and a shotgun wedding. A shotgun wedding where the woman got pregnant and the groom was forced to marry the bride at gunpoint to prevent from having any bastard children. Now, that's a massive change in comparison to before with, oh, I'll give you money for this one. And that all changed because now you think about how the dowry was kind of redesigned into what we have now as the man paying for the wedding and the honeymoon and all this other stuff. That used to come from the father of the groom or the father of the bride, where either the person who wanted the wife would pay the family to get the child, or the person who's trying to get rid of the child would pay the other person to take the child, take this debt off of my hands kind of stuff, where the wedding was supposed to be paid by the family, not by the bride and groom. It was supposed to be the responsibility of somebody's mama and daddy that was supposed to be taking care of this. But nowadays, because we don't even go back to the house to show our parents respect nowadays, you're not going back to the house and saying, do I have your blessing and do I have your permission to marry your child? That doesn't happen. So the old folks is just getting an invitation like it's going to a house party.